back to another episode of Cowboys and Cocktails. I'm Charlie Dan.
And I am Rayya. Okay, this is our first episode after a loss that we're filming together.
I know, and I don't know how to take it.
I don't know either. We had so many high hopes and we had so many plans and we had our own game plan established, but unfortunately our boys didn't stick to, at least in that first half.
No, not great for a bragging rights kind of game, right? I think I definitely will say I had a lot more optimism going into this game than maybe a lot of people did.
You did. I kept saying my head says Eagles and my heart says Cowboys, but yeah.
But I think part of it is being bought into what we've been able to do so far with the momentum that on both sides of the ball, and obviously we talked about last episode where the Eagles struggled in that second half against the Cardinals, where I thought we could capitalize. However, definitely not the case, not the result. There was some tiny positives to take away that we'll get into here in a second.
Are you talking about moral victories?
Moral victories,
yes.
Yeah, some moral victories.
Charlie, that's icky.
Yeah, I'm a moral victory kind of guy.
Yeah, so one of the things that you and I talked about was quarterback play, right? Yeah. Understanding how Cooper Rush fits in his role, how the coaches are setting up success going into this game. What went wrong, Charlie?
Well, I think we took away. We got cocky. We got cocky with Cooper. That simplistic.
Why does that sound like a really cheesy TV show?
It looked cocky with Cooper.
Yeah.
Well, we made things a little tougher. We got a little more flashy with him. We didn't go back to the basics. Keep it simple. And honestly, I think that confidence because of what he's been able to do so far. And especially in a big team against the Rams and the Bengals in week 2. But the thing is, you can't do that with a solid defense to the Eagles. And he got exposed. And look,
really
I commend Cooper. He's done a good job keeping this team afloat in the mix. But you're gonna need more than that to beat this Eagles team.
I agree, and I think. We make this joke all the time that Kellen Moore is pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
He's a bitch. And he opened up that playbook for Cooper Rush and expected Cooper to make some of these crazy big throws that just weren't
these jack throws.
Yeah, definitely. Those routes were run really well. The wide receivers were open. They just didn't have enough mustard on the throw to get there.
The arm strength, the lack thereof, really showed. And honestly, he did look like a backup in that game. Once again, kudos to him. He's been able to keep this team, but this is where we were going to find out: is this his team for a while, or do we need Dak back ASAP? Well, you need Dak back ASAP for these bigger matchups.
Yeah, and that's what you and I have been saying. We've been on the side of this is Dak's team. There is no quarterback controversy. So screw all of you in Dallas media for making a quarterback controversy.
It's funny how in the 24 hours everyone's like, get that back. Well, there's levels to this, right? Mm-hmm. Your backup can only do so much, but there's a reason why you have a number one. There's a reason why you pay Dak Prescott. The stats don't lie, even though too. A lot of people like to not pay attention. Stats don't lie. And, we are getting Dak back, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but. Yeah, definitely very rough first half. Hard to watch.
Right. And so, as a Cowboys fan, as someone who is used to being coached in the mouth, how do you feel about the coaching staff and the adjustments made in the second half?
Exactly what they need to do. Obviously the results still didn't end up in our favor, but hey, this team could have easily checked out at half. They were down.
And I think in the past we would have.
We would have. But kudos to the coaching staff to get this team rallied back, motivated. They came out hungry. They came out aggressive, like we've seen in the prior games. Mm-hmm. They woke up, and that is the moral victory, I think, right there, because they made adjustments and they kept it close. Where I was just like, man, this is gonna be a blowout. This is embarrassing. We'll never hear the end of it. But no, yes, the Eagles still won, but not without a fight from our boys.
No, not at all. Yeah. It was kind of funny. You and I were at the bar together. We watched the first half, and then I got pissed off, and I left.
And we're like, it's time to check. We'll get the check, please.
Charlie knows I have an attitude problem. I don't take losses. Losing. Losses I can handle. Losing, the action of losing, I don't take well. And I was texting back and forth with my dad, and my dad said the funniest thing. He said, God, they need to do something respectable before the end of this game. And I think they did. I think they finally went with the game plan that you and I had originally discussed in our previous episode, pounding the rock. Zeke looked like Zeke.
Yeah.
Finally. And I really thought Tony Pollard was going to be the guy, and we'll get into that a little later. But, in that was Zeke's half. That second half belonged to Zeke. Keeping the ball, keeping time of possession, running hard, getting first down. That was really nice to see.
Well, you needed that veteran presence, and who better than Zeke when he is gone? And this is where, moving forward in the next time we meet up, or any of these bigger
Christmas everyone keeps saying it.
Will the Cowboys be a Grinch to fill these streaks? We'll see how long it goes. But in any big matchup, you need these veterans. You need a Dak Prescott. You need a Zeke, looking like old Zeke. And that's not taking away anything from Paul, but you needed Zeke to have a big moment, and he did. And then let's also talk about our other duo threat that we've been longing for, in Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot. Which we kind of saw a little bit between Jar and Schultz, but this one looks really good.
Yeah, I agree. I kept saying it's Fergie time,
Fergalicious.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna have so much fun with this later. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I saw a tweet the other day that, I think you were the one that sent me this tweet actually, that Hendershot and Ferguson are the duo that everyone thought Schultz and Darwin were going to be. And so that's really exciting to see them come on, just giving Dak more options, or Super Rush, or whoever that quarterback, and opening up our playbook in that sense, and also using them for blocking. They're both excellent blockers.
Oh yeah, no, and Ferguson's a tank too. I mean, I'm not going to compare him to a Jason Witten, but he does have that build that we need.
He does. He kind of looks like they're running around. He's got
kind of more of a Gronkish build to it, or Wes Welker. So that's what we needed, and man, can he move, and that's what we needed, and I think that was the moral victory too, having that duo rise when needs to, but still there was some messiness on our side. There was the penalties. Some calls obviously not called in our favor, but we said that from the get-go. You're not going to get the calls.
You're not going to get the calls, especially in Philly. And I think the other thing was our defense kind of got a little emotional.
Yeah.
I don't like to say that, because I like to see emotion. I was like,
it's a rivalry, yeah.
But when you're getting flagged for being emotional, that's kind of where you draw the line a little bit. You're like, okay, now you're like kind of like in your team with your emotions, right?
Well, you have to take. You got to realize you can't fall for it, right? And it's so easy to do with a rival, but all you got to do is let your playing, speak. And then afterwards the game, whatever you want to say, as long as you're tactful or in your post, fine. But in the moment, you got to watch what you do, because you can, and you're not going to get the call in your favor.
And then on that note, switching gears a little bit. Now that Philly's 6-0, how do you see their season progressing? Did you see stuff that you liked? Even though that hurts my feelings. What did you think overall?
Well, I mean, I'm going to give them kudos where kudos deserve. I mean, their defense obviously well executed.
Yeah, I didn't really like that play in Bradbury were a gnarly deal.
And in their offense line, they were able to neutralize Micah Parsons. They had a good game plan for that. We did not have a counter answer to that. This is where obviously we got to really patch up that D line and really make it as sharp as our passes. But what I will say, what I think can be worrisome, and Eagles fans aren't going to look at it right now, but the fact that they allowed this is 2 weeks in a row that they've allowed teams to come back. Believe me, no matter how they've been doing, you can't do that with the Packers. Rodgers is Rodgers, no matter what you think, he's going to have his moments, and he's not going to lose everything.
You can't do it with Brady, you can't do it with Patrick Mahomes,
any of those guys. If you want to be a true contender, you cannot. And look what we saw with Atlanta and Brady back in the Super Bowl. So, it's. And you can't do it with us coming down when we have a Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
unless Dak plays that game, that's a different story.
I was going to say, we are a different team with Dak Prescott at the helm. So, congratulations, Philly. You beat us by 9 points with a backup QB. Good job.
But, I'm not going to still all their fire. Hey, look, they're doing a good job keeping that momentum. but I do feel like it's fixing a burnout.
Yeah.
And it's just, not dogging Hurts. He's got a good, promising career, but he's not the best quarterback in the NFC East. He's not the best quarterback in the NFC right now. He's doing what he can, but stats don't lie.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, his numbers weren't on you. If I somebody who has him in fantasy football, yeah, it wasn't like an outstanding, crazy performance either. So, you know what? I'm ready to move on from this game, but we have one more piece of business to take care of, my friend. You and I made some shot takes going into this game.
We did, and we're wrong again.
And not only were we wrong,
we're way
off this time. Yeah, so I thought everything would run through Tony Pollard this week. Turns out it didn't. No touchdowns for Tony Pollard, and I wanted 2. So that's my shot take. What about you, Charlie?
Mine was 2 sacks by Michael Parsons. He didn't even get 1, and that's a rarity. And that's kudos once again to that defense. Offensive line of the Eagles and just their play there. So,
yeah, we were going to shout out Lane Johnson, right?
Yeah, Lane Johnson until he got hurt was phenomenal, and they were able to neutralize it. People are going to, I guess there's people talking crap about Michael. Well, first of all, I'm just going to say this, not to make excuses. He's not 100%, but they just game plan better than what we did. And,
yeah, definitely.
Hey, what we got to prove, we just got to make those adjustments. But yes, we were not right. We were way off. So here we go again.
Winning, and there's losing, and then there's learning lessons, and I think we did learn a lot of lessons from this game. So, here's up. Alright, that doesn't get better.
No.
Okay. Moving on. We're going to Detroit, or Detroit's coming here, sorry.
Detroit is coming in here.
But we are going to Detroit via cocktail.
Here we go.
So, this week's cocktail from Detroit is called the Bull Shot.
The Bull Shot.
And no, it is not a shot.
No, it is not. We wish it was a shot with some of the ingredients with us, but.
Yeah, definitely. I need to get some ice, but if you want to start talking about what we're putting in here and what we're doing with this nonsense.
So this is the Bull Shot, and once again, if you follow us, you watch, and we always post now the recipe. But let us know if you ever made this, Detroit fans or anybody from Detroit, if we're doing it right. Let us know. But what we're going to have in this lovely recipe is 1.5 ounce of vodka. I like kind of sound of that. We're going to have 2.5 beef broth. Don't like the sound of that. 2 dash of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. It's like cinnamon. I can't say it. 2 dash of Tabasco, even though we just had one, so good for that. And then it looks like a garnish with black pepper. So I don't know how I feel like about this. It feels a lot like the Philly cheese cocktail with our demo episode about a year ago. But who knows? Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't know. I feel like the broth kind of sets it out.
The broth scares me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so since I'm going to be making 2 of these, I've got to double everything. So, big story with Detroit. The Detroit game. What is it, Charlie?
Yeah, so, the big thing was they're getting Swift back, which is, good for them. And once again, I think if I have any confidence, if Lions have any confidence, it's, hey, Dallas has a hard time stopping the run. And that's where they're going to have to work their magic a lot here and really kind of expose, because, we've seen that as being kind of still our Achilles heel. I like to think it got better. There are moments, but it's not consistent. With that, being said, the biggest story is Mr. Dak Prescott, number 4, has been cleared to play. Now, and I'll say this, what capacity? Is that going to be the whole game? Is that going to be a first half? We'll see. The good thing is in this game, that's why you do have a Cooper Rush around. If at any moment there's pain, there's discomfort, their skin's a little off, which he's going to be, he's been out, you can throw in Cooper for the, like a closing pitcher if you need to.
If you have to.
But that's not what I think. Dak's going to push through this. We were talking about this, and I expect you should see a lot of running from us, a lot of slant. I feel there may be a few down, but you don't want to risk any kind of pass pass rush defense instance where it can affect that hand right there. So and you just gotta test. You will test his mobility, right? But yeah, the biggest story obviously number 4 is back on the field.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that arm strength and like what his chemistry is doing with all these people. He hasn't really been throwing much up until last week.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that. And then also we've talked about the tight ends being a really integral part of his offense now, and having those short routes, those short crossing routes, those short post routes being available to him. How often is he going to go to them over the wide receivers, things like that. And another thing to note is the Lions defense has given up the most points in the NFL to date. So are the Cowboys going to be able to capitalize on that with I'm not sure he's 100% Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I think even a not so 100% Dak Prescott, I think this is where Kellen Moore has got to utilize him right. I mean, obviously keep it simple. Don't just pull all the tricks out of the bag, because it can be, he hasn't played. There's going to be some rustiness. But man, we're loaded by so many weapons that you should be able to capitalize. And if you don't, there's a big problem in preparation, and it's not a lack of talent there. So I think they will. I think they'll get this win back. I think it's just, and it's not just because it's the Lions. I think, like I said, in a moral victory, we saw adjustment, but having number 4 back, even at 75% is good.
Yeah, agreed.
And he may not be 100% a lot of the season, but his 75%, just like Michael Parsons, his 65 is good. A lot of these guys, like his leadership on the field is going to pay big dividends.
Agreed. All right, I'm going to shake this thing up and hopefully not make a mess this time, like I always do. And it was really funny. If you didn't just see my face, too, because Luke has beef broth in it. Romo is going absolutely loco.
Yeah, her dog is like, I want some of that.
Right here,
right now. Where's my shot tape?
He's like, I want to do a shot of the beef broth.
Yeah, I like this one. Everything else you've done is like fruity and paradise. So Rayya, where do you think is going to be our most success, and where do you think our biggest downfall will be? They can maybe be a trap game.
Yeah, I was saying this earlier.
Or silly.
I have the worst luck with the shaker, by the way. I hate this. Yeah, I'm not good. I'm shaky with the shaker. So I expect big things from our run game. I think having our two-headed monster and they not playing defense, I think that's the safest thing for us to do. Like we said, Dak's not 100%. So it kind of makes sense for the offense to run through the run game. And on the other side of the coin, just keeping guys like DeAndre Swift and Amon St. Brown. I keep calling him Amor St. Brown.
Amor.
No, it's Amon Ra, right?
Amon Ra, yeah.
St. Brown in check. Those are the things I'm looking for, and then I'm also looking for an announcement to do right away.
Yeah, I think once again, not getting overconfident, not getting complacent in this game. And penalties, that's another thing. But I think you gotta stop the run. And yeah, just don't be too flashy with that. Keep it simple. Like I said, he's been out. You have the dual threat and putting Pollard deep. You have the dual threat now, Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot.
Oh yeah,
utilize that. Utilize your strength. I'm a little wary with downfield. You're gonna have one or two just because you want to see where Dak can throw. But at least with this team, you can beat them anyway. You should be able to. Should.
Yeah.
So I will say, I think they have us one touchdown. I'll give them this. I think we're gonna give them 2 touchdowns.
All right. So we both agree that this is a very, very winnable game. I'm not gonna say easy game or whatever you guys really want me to say, but psychologically speaking, you just lost to a division rival on the road. There's got to be a little bit of emotion there. And yes, I understand pro athletes have amnesia. I know I have amnesia, but how do you get psyched to play a game like this? It's not like you're playing back-to-back quality teams. How do you get yourself in the right mindset to play a team that you should beat, but you
because
have to. Yeah, go for it.
Eagles are 6-0 and the Giants are 5-1. Enough said.
1-5.
Or 1-4.
Yeah. 1-4.
No. But as far as the division goes, you can't afford to lose a game. And the Eagles are 6-0. The Giants are 5-1. So the Giants, you beat. They were a team that lost to a rival that found themselves back on a streak. You can't lose any game. You really can't, because the strength of schedule for the Eagles and Cowboys are pretty similar, which is a good amount of winnable games. So if you want to win this division or clinch a wild card spot, you got to win the game. You got to come back and bounce. It's like, once again in fighting, you get knocked out, you need to find that matchup, you need to get back, you need to show you can win again, which I believe they can. And because, you have the Bears next, you have a bye, but Packers are not easy. There's a lot where it could be trap games or losses. So you got to take one game at a time, but I feel like they're going to be motivated. I feel like they felt like they let that one get late. In their minds, they felt like they could beat Philly. Yep. And they definitely felt like they had Philly on the road, and they let them slip through. This is going to be one of those fights that comes back with anger, and they're going to come, full smash. I just don't think Detroit has enough talent to be able to.
Although it's not going to hurt if Hobson has a good game on fantasy.
Well, there you
go. All right. Let's try these. I am terrified.
This looks like somebody put their cigarette in my drink.
Yeah, I did.
Or a bunch of flies.
I did the black pepper, the cracked pepper garnish.
Have we been drinking at a bowling alley? That's what I thought in the 90s.
Oh my god.
People put bowling alley tonight now. Like a
Detroit, are you sure?
Alright, here we go.
Cheers. Oh, that's horrible. That's really bad.
This is like reflexes, but
that's terrible.
This is like I'm drinking pot roast.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's liquid meat.
Oh god, no. That's a 2. That's a 1. Or like the Deeper Lines record. Oh, that pepper.
Just be honest here.
You know what? I'm just gonna take a quick shot here just to run to my mouth.
I'll do that water.
Yeah, well, they're like.
That was horrible. I would drink the Philly cheesesteak over that.
Yeah, that was the worst thing. That's not even. That's a 0.
Oh my god. So next cocktail we better stick to what we know with fruity and yummy cocktails.
Well, no, the closest teams have to find.
Chicago, please send us a yummy cocktail for next week. All right. So before we move on, game picks. ESPN has Dallas favored by a touchdown. How do you see this going down?
I have 2 touchdowns. I have at least 2. I'll give them 2. I think this is going to be reminiscent to the Commanders game, for sure. I have a lot of tight end forward. I'll get to my shot take here in a second, but yeah, I think it's what we're targeting. I think you rely on this double dual threat, right? I think that's what you got to do, because you can't do too much with Dak right yet, as much as you want to, because it's exciting. Ease him back in. We actually lucked out with the schedule we have ahead,
Agreed.
So, but I think 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I would have been okay with starting Cooper Rush in this game.
Yeah.
I would have been totally fine. Dak has no reason to rush back except for the fact that Dallas media is in fuego about it.
Yeah.
But I also think this. I want this to be a law. I think our team needs to make a statement right now.
Oh, you can't let it be close.
Yeah, especially with having Dak back and being like, okay, this isn't like our final evolutionary stage or anything, but this is what we're capable of against this level of a team. So I think they really need to show out. And honestly, I do see Dak throwing at least one home run ball.
And who will it be to?
Now you get into my shot take. So I'll go ahead and share. So my shot take is a home run ball to MG13.
His old faithful.
I think MG13 needs it. He did have a couple drops last week, didn't he? Or
he did. But once again, to be fair, this is also someone who hasn't played on.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is he needs to have those feelings that he has. That's what he is. He's a deep threat. Let's use him that way. Would love to see either down center, on the sideline, whatever it is. But I think he's going to get, MG13 is going to get a long touchdown. What do we define a long touchdown as? Anything more than 15 yards?
Yeah, he may go down 20 or 30 yards.
I'm going to guess 15 to 20 yards.
And Dak can do that just with his muscle memory right there. Yeah. And I'm sure he's been working on it. My shock take is you're going to have the dual running back touchdown.
Oh, you're stealing one of mine!
Yeah.
Oh, that's so mean!
No, I was going to go with the tight end, but I really feel like the running game is going to be a huge thing because you're going to wear that defense out. Both Tony, Pollard, and Zeke get a touchdown.
God, I hope so. I would love to see
Yeah. I mean, that's what you would do. I mean, that's and because you can fall in love with your O-line because they have been, I will submit no matter what, they have been solid.
Yeah, agreed.
So.
And, you know, that came as a surprise, as you could say, Terrence Steele, Tyler Smith.
Terrence Steele, man, he is the man of Steele right now. Biotis is coming in his own, and you have Connor McGovern back.
They're all doing the thing.
Yeah.
We are very proud.
It has been lovely, and you know, can't wait to see it with Jack at the helm.
Yep, that's what I want. I want to see a glimpse of what this offense.
What this offense?
Yeah, as I look at my offense. And what this offense can be. Not perfection, but pretty damn close. I want to see it, and I want to believe it, and I want to enjoy it. Again, with the growth commentary. Anyway, so. Moving on to Week 7 action, I pulled 3 games for us to discuss as I always do. First one is tomorrow night's Thursday night matchup between the Saints and Cardinals. Arizona favored by 2 points, and the big story here is the return of DeAndre Hopkins.
The return of DeAndre Hopkins and the acquirement, the trade of Robbie Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
So,
who
would have thought of all that after his little frustration meeting him? Oh, he's going to the Cardinals. But hey, smart move by the Cardinals. Obviously, losing Chase Edmonds last year was, you know, not favorable. Of course, they have James Conner out there, but still, I mean.
James Conner's injured.
Yeah, well, and that's a big reason Robbie Anderson, you know, you got to find something and that's going to help right there, along with DeAndre Hopkins. And it'll be interesting. Yeah. Must win for Cardinals.
I feel like this 2-point spread is unfair. Like, I feel like it should be a bigger number.
Well, I think it's because Michael Thomas is hurt too. He will not be playing. So.
I know that. That's what I'm thinking. I feel like it should be a bigger number.
Bigger. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Because that's how.
I was thinking
but that's how.
Like 4 or 5, maybe.
I think there's such a lack of confidence with Arizona right now, and it's sad to see. Now that can change overnight, obviously, but I feel like they have so much potential, and they're just not playing to where the Saints can still make it very interesting. And you wouldn't think that, but the Cardinals have just not have been able to win when they need to.
Yeah,
one on the road. And so I don't think it's completely unfair, but I also get, you know, they don't have Thomas, but hey, they rallied a lot last year.
They have
but Darren Flaherty's also not playing.
They've got Chris Olave coming off the concussion. I don't think the wide receiver issue is an issue. I think they have a really deep team. But for me, I just feel like the Cardinals aren't playing to their potential.
No, and that's why they're only giving them by 2.
All right, moving on. Oh yeah, you're picking who?
I'm gonna go Arizona. And here's the reason why. I mean, I do think like they desperately need this win. I think having Robbie's gonna be interesting. He's gonna do his thing. He's gonna be happy. And having Hopkins, obviously, it's one of those he's been out, but he's gonna do his thing.
Yeah.
And I think Kyler's gonna have a big game.
Kyler needs a big game.
Because he has to.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kyler.
And not having Thomas, that's a big, and not having Lyon.
We haven't had Thomas in like a year.
I know, but like I think for them to psychologize, like I think the Arizona, but I think by 2 is fair.
Hey, I'm still thinking about that, but yeah, I'm in agreement. Cardinals will win that game tomorrow night.
We shall see.
Next game I pulled, Browns and Ravens. Ravens just lost to the Giants. Browns have so much talent in their skill positions, they can't seem to get a win.
Ravens. I know the Ravens, but I think they get it back because it is that inconsistent roller coaster ride the Ravens are on. But I got the Ravens. I think they bounce back here. Yeah,
ESPN has Baltimore favored by 6.5 points. I think that is a fair spread. I am also going Ravens, even though I have this total advantage.
Yeah.
But the Ravens defense is pretty shitty. Sorry, not sorry.
Which is crazy to say because the Ravens have had such a good.
Yeah, but I mean, they couldn't shut down.
No. They have the inconsistency. That's why I said they're going to win too because they are on this roller coaster, but also just a matchup. I think, you know, in Lamar, like they're 3-3 right now. Then the Bengals.
Yeah.
Fighting for, who would have thought right now, the way the Bengals are, but they're fighting.
Yeah, they are.
And so they have to get this win.
That is
They have to get this.
Finally, and this is
so much love.
Super Bowl preview. Could be a Super Bowl preview. Chiefs and 49ers, ESPN has Kansas City favored by 2 points.
Yeah, that's right. So here's the thing. Like I know Niners have had their inconsistencies, but they're gonna fight. And I love the Super Bowl matchup that we called before because I feel like this is a team. These two teams are destined to play each other, whether it's regular season, Super Bowl. But the Chiefs are the number 2 best team in the league, and I think Travis Kelce is gonna have a good day again. And yeah, I think 2 is fair. I think 2 is fair. But Niners have a lot of fun.
Niners lost to the Falcons.
Yeah, well, everyone has their trap game. So.
Trap game? Wow.
Well, I think I'll get this. I think Atlanta's made their adjustments, but I do think the Niners will make enough. Like I think right now, like I think this could be more of a trap game for the Chiefs actually.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm gonna go upset here. I'm gonna go 49ers. They need to show who they are after losing it. I know, yeah, they're gonna come back with a vengeance. And
that's why I believe in Jimmy G. Like I think he can adjust. And I think he like I think they're gonna make.
I think it's gonna be a great matchup.
It's gonna be that anger.
Low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Kind of like Bill's Chiefs last week. But yeah, I can see the 49ers definitely going this one out.
Well, it could be a lot like that Chargers game, you know, against the Chiefs, and I think it's going to come down maybe to a field goal, maybe a touchdown. So, but I have the Chiefs, but I wouldn't be surprised with Niners. I think, like I said, I think the Bills are the ones on the lone mountain right now.
I agree. Bills and
everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, that is all I got.
All right. Well, this has been good. We'll see what happens. Definitely, to say the least, craziest NFL season I've seen in quite some time. Outside of COVID. COVID season. But we'll see. But yeah, till next time, go Cowboys.
And stay away from the bull shot.
Yeah, the bull shot.
All right.